Crew Pros, your single source for high quality, affordable home services. If you are remodeling, repairing, or replacing, Crew Pros are the professionals that can do the job no matter the size. If you are thinking of remodeling your kitchen or bath, needing a new HVAC system, plumbing repairs, flooring, or a complete roof replacement, call Crew Pros. Crew Pros, proud sponsor of the Grizz 901 podcast.
Memphis. Nothing but Memphis. Everywhere we go, it's Memphis. Memphis, Tennessee, the beautiful land in the world.
And I'm thankful for this guy who tweeted and said I don't have that fire in my eyes no more. That game right there was for him. That's what I do. I prove people wrong each and every night, and that's for him right there.
Hi, this is Tom Izzo at Michigan State, and you're listening to Grizz 901.
What's up, Grizz Nation, and welcome back to another episode of Grizz 901. We are presented by Zach Jaworski, State Farm, where they treat you like family. And I am your host, as always. I'm Daniel Greer, and our weekday boo, he's back. What's up, Nate?
What's going on, man? Just happy to hop on, and I wouldn't call it an emergency pod, but last minute pod with you. I'm just looking through all the different things that my ADD brain's going to be drawn to this show. It'll be fun.
Be a lot of fun. So it was Nathan's idea to be, what do you say? Students of the game?
Students of the game.
I don't know what these look like. Listen, we both work on our computers a lot. I am not a glasses guy. I have no issues with my eyeballs. Not that that's a bad thing in life, but they're good so far. I want to keep them that way. So I wear my blue blockers. Is that what this is? Blue blockers?
Blue light blockers.
Whatever. My blue blockers. Isn't the blue blockers the big ones that used to all the way?
Pause.
They're huge.
You're saying things in weird ways. But yeah, mine get pretty big on my face when I got a haircut. But
no, I'm talking the old school glasses that were called blue blockers. That's the thing.
You're showing your age. I don't know what you're talking about.
All right. So we'll have to revisit that another time. I'm actually going to Google right now blue blockers, and blue blockers are the huge glasses.
Blue blockers glasses.
Yeah. So check it out. Go Google it. Blue blockers. That's what they are. I'm going to go ahead and take mine off because my blue glare kind of bothers me and in the video, just in general and purposes. But let's go ahead and get into it. It's not going to be a long show at all. If you are on the podcast, thank you as always. Here at YouTube, feel free to chat it up with us. I have to do a better job myself making sure that we have a large audience that listens to podcasts only. Okay, so I always forget that we do have video, and I always reference the video a lot of times, but most of our fans are going to be podcast only. And so that is me learning how to, work through this thing a little bit. And so just give you a heads up, that's kind of maybe the last podcast or so that were not great because we did not reference a lot of what's going on the screen. So we're going to go ahead and get into the game. It was a 115-112 Grizzlies win. And I think it was a game that realistically, if you look back on it, went kind of as we thought it would go, a lot of it. And the Grizzlies got up big. And one thing I heard from, I cannot remember who that was. It might have been Verno yesterday as he was talking about what Shane Battier told him one time. And it was, from his coach, Coach K at Duke. When you get a big lead, a lot of times you give the lead back because you stop being so aggressive offensively, and you kind of lose track of that. And so what he said is a lot of times what they would do is work on getting stops. So you actually try to focus yourself on defense, which is the opposite, right? But if you focus on getting stops and on defense, then you won't give up the lead because you're locked in defensively, and whatever happens on the offensive end happens on the offensive end. So I thought that was a very big thing that he said yesterday, and I don't know if you missed it, but Chris Vernon on the Chris Vernon Show shared that with us. So Nathan, what you got on that game?
I was super encouraged by the game. I saw some negativity on Grizz Twitter. I think for the most part, people were pretty happy with the game and getting a win on opening night's always a great start, right? It's opening night. There's going to be rust. Every team still figuring some stuff out. So just getting off on the right foot is a great thing to be able to accomplish. But did see some people that were worried about the team. They're like, this is, I saw someone within 5 minutes, it blew my mind, say, I was unimpressed with that win. We have a lot of work to do. I was like, oh, by work, do you mean get 3 of our 7 best rotation players back in the lineup? That's good work we should try and do. Yeah, for sure. I mean, what more do you want? Santi Aldama plays 39 minutes for you, gets a double-double, looks awesome, punks Julius Randle, even though he said it was on accident. He was just hyped up, which Santi may also be, outside of the Grizz's biggest and best surprise, the most wholesome player on Memphis. Just hearing him talk about stuff with his family. Love seeing him succeed. Love being wrong about it. Yeah, it was an overall really encouraging game. I thought they took the foot off the gas and got caught a little bit. But outside of that, what more do you want? John Conchar played really well. The only one that really worried me at all was Desmond Bain. Between he wasn't really hitting his shots, and I don't expect that to last, but obviously, he said he worked on his body quite a bit to lose some weight and make sure he doesn't get hurt again down the stretch. And then he gets hurt in the first game, but looks like it's just cramped. Looks like it's just cramps. Okay, let me be clear. I'm not talking about Isaac. Sorry. We got it in the chat. Black Lives Matter saying I was talking about Isaac. I was not talking about Isaac. This was someone who is completely random. I don't follow. I just saw that they were a Grizz fan. So can't remember who it was. But yeah, I'm a little worried about Bane and his legs. I think it was just cramps. Everybody was tired first game. Oh no. Dude, great game. I thought the rookies looked good. I thought it was awesome. It was a fun opening night win, close game. I yelled so hard, I almost had an aneurysm, had to lay down real quick because I thought I was about to pass out when Tyus hit that 3, and then almost did the same thing when he missed the free throws. Fun, man. I just had a lot of fun. Great opening game. Got to win. What more can you ask for?
Yeah. Going a little bit over the game real quick, just a game recap if somebody didn't watch it. But just looking through the stats in general, the Grizzlies, 15-point lead at halftime, right? So let's just kind of go over that real quick. Like the Grizzlies up 61-46 at half, mainly behind a lot of Ja. That's just really what it was. Like Desmond did not look good. Santi was a big player the whole entire game. Conchar and Adams is a cheat code on the rebound level. But if you actually look at the entire game, 36 rebounds from those 3, Aldama, Adams, and Conchar, which is amazing. But also, okay, so let's stop at halftime here. Grizzlies up 15. Second half, 62-47, a 15-point spread in favor of the New York Knicks. So if you look at both halves, the Grizzlies got off to a great start, and it was a 36-point quarter there in the second quarter. Okay. The Knicks scored 23 in both of the first and second quarter. After that, they scored 33 and 29. The Grizzlies was a 24 and a 23 quarter. So that's where you get those 2 15-point halves from both teams playing well. The Knicks obviously took advantage of the Grizzlies, probably just taking a step back after they were able to, I guess, get up so big early. 19-point lead was the biggest lead that they had. But after that, there was a lot that happened in the game and a lot that we could go over, and I think was awesome. But 2 15-point leads from both teams in first or second half, I think was crazy. And I think that's really what the telling story was. And then the Grizzlies in overtime, obviously a 3-point win, and it's outscored them 7-4, which was really cool. So I think all around, I think the Grizzlies, a win's a win, in my opinion.
And the one thing I will say to take away, I think we could take away some real player stuff, but as a team goes, the fact they were able to get that win in overtime says a lot about the maturity of this team. To have a 19-point lead in the second half evaporate, again, they took their foot off the gas, but then they go into overtime. They got tired legs. It's clear they have tired legs. Desmond Bain has one leg, and they still find a way over a team that has a really, really good veteran guard in Jalen Brunson. Had the advantage at forward with Julius Randle, but they still found a way to just go and make it happen and get that win. Speaks a lot to the maturity of this team and the fact they know how to win now, which bodes really well for this season as they overcome injury struggles and other things that'll pop up.
Years ago, prior to Ja And even Josh's first year, I would say we'd have lost that game 8 out of 10 times. And honestly, during the Core 4 era, there was a lot of games like that we just lost and could not close. We were really good, and they were a good team, but we have not had a closer like Ja. Ja being the leader in closing clutch time minutes. It's crazy. He's so good, and I think he showed everybody really how good he is. So let's get into a little bit of what we did, and I kind of seen now, and I'm getting a feeling. And tell us yes or no. I have a feeling that our betting stuff, I don't know if everybody bets like I do, or you might if you were in a betting state, Nathan. But if you want to hear more about betting, by all means, we will go more into detail. We can have our own shows about that if that helps. But the last show was okay. There wasn't as many people liking it as I thought that there would be. So we're probably going to pull back a little bit on the betting stuff, but we're still going to give you our Grizz Lead player watch each and every game because I think that's important. But I think that's kind of what we're good at on the other side of the betting side of life. And so going into that a little bit, the Grizz Lead player watch, what we had this past game, we went 3-1. So if you're following along, if you're betting, we're making you money. So 3-1 night is not bad. I think that's going to be. That's a good night. I'm not gonna lie. Like 4-0 is obviously awesome. 2-2 is what it is. But 3-1 is a winning night, and I feel good about it. I honestly just think, and I know we could be wrong, but as much research as we do in this, 2-2, I think is going to be expected. I'm not gonna lie, just because we're narrowing down a lot of what we like and don't like. So make sure you follow along. We're gonna produce those probably an hour before the game, because you're going to get your lines that are going to come out, especially on some of the people that are coming off the bench or some players like Conchar and Aldama throughout the season. We'll get about an hour before the game. So expect that about an hour before tip. You'll be receiving that. So one thing I will share with you, one guy that will be on there, it's going to be Desmond Bain, assist. I believe the line is still at 2.5. So if you like that, go ahead. But I know I'm hitting on that for sure. And I've already talked to Ryan, and I'm pretty sure I'm looking through the notes right now of what he sent me back. But I think it's Desmond Bain over 2.5. Yeah, over 2.5 assists is a guarantee that we both love. We expect him to have 4 or more assists. So if you're betting it all, feel free. But the lines are fairly good. So that's all we're going to talk on that, because people obviously didn't, there's not as many people involved as we are. So let's go ahead and get into our game predictions tonight, because it's not a long podcast at all. But our game predictions tonight, Nathan, I'll start with you first. Go ahead, man.
I want to get your opinion on this because I'm a little torn on it. I don't feel like they're going to launch 53s again. It felt like they didn't work in the paint as much as they would like to that last game, right? So I'm looking at some of the 3 numbers because in my head I was like, I think about betting stuff later. Maybe put something on Tyus on his over on 3s if they have a line in there. But he shot 8. He got him up. I think he's going to continue to shoot a decent amount, but 53s is a lot for a team that dominates in the paint. So I would say I'll expect them to shoot a little bit less from deep and be a little bit more methodical in running their offense tonight. And look really, really good doing it. I think Adams is going to just tear up the boards. I bet they try and get him involved a little bit more offensively scoring this time around, because I think he has a matchup and he's going to be on. He'll be up against Şengün, and he'll have a
doesn't
chance.
Start.
But he'll be out there against them some, though. I bet they have that matchup, and he could just bully them to death down low. So I think that's something they try and get him a little bit more action in there. And then until we get these other guys back, Ja Morant's going to be Ja Morant, and he's going to destroy. One thing I really liked from the last game that I'm not sure if you picked up on or not was that he had the highlight block against Brunson. He had a lot of highlight moments. Obviously, he's explosive, athletic guy. He didn't have any real scare me moments other than the Randall foul, which was not malicious or anything like that. It was just an unfortunate way things unfolded in that play. Yeah. But he did all that scoring, he did all that facilitating, all that playmaking, and none of it was this explosive, freak me out, scare me. I think that's a huge step in his game this year. I think he is really taking care of his body. So that was just one game note I thought about as I was about to go into that I thought was really encouraging from last game.
Yes. Well, so a couple of notes on that, and I always look at it from the betting side of things, right? Because that's kind of what I'm more involved in on outside of what I enjoy in life. But I think that and Ryan is much more into it than I am, but we look at how the game could play out by using like betting statistics and stuff like that. And so it helps, when you watch the game and you can see the game differently, than maybe others can. Like I see it from a coach's side. I look at it from that, I guess, angle, that viewpoint of life. And so I see it that way. But I also see it on the betting side. So I'm looking at guys and how they're going to perform. And I also look at past performances. Is there something that correlates to why they might not be good? Is it matchups? Is it players? And so you hit on Steven Adams. And so I want to share a little bit of Steven Adams with you. In the 4 games he played last year, he had a 23-point game. I don't know if you remember that or not, a 23-point game for them. But the other games he scored 6 points, 5 points, and 2 points. So it was a rare game out of him that he did that. But also, like, looking at his rebounds, he's had 2 games of 9, a game of 12, and a game of 5. Like, that is good, but I don't know if he just doesn't seem consistent against them. And I wonder if it's because of their ability, right? Are they not good? And that's why sometimes you just kind of take some time off. My opinion on Steven Adams, I think they play small. And because they play small, I believe that it gets him off the court a little bit more. But as you were talking about with Şengün, he doesn't start now, and Bruno Fernando does. So I don't know if that helps his ability to stay on the court, especially with potentially Bane coming back from cramps, but also being without 3 guys more than likely.
Well, Adams is going to have to play right. We can't really afford to have him off the court. I mean, maybe you could see Tillman again. I don't know. But one thing that I think could be easily missed is Christian Wood's not there anymore. And Christian Wood is really, really athletic, really, really long, big, who could stretch the floor, but also could give Adams some fits because he's a little bit longer than Adams, being able to get on the boards a little bit. They take a ton of jump shots, a lot of long rebounds. That's part of it. But I think not having Christian Wood out there is going to make a big difference because Adams is bigger than Şengün. And I don't think Şengün he's definitely athletic. I think he's an awesome player, got a lot of skill. I don't think he is Christian Wood as far as being able to get Adams out of position. And so I'm just not worried about it this game. I think that Christian Wood being gone opens up a lot for Adams as far as the rebounding goes. But I'd expect a big Concha rebounding game again. I expect Aldama to get a lot of rebounds again. I would look for Bane to get a lot of rebounds. Maybe even Larabian Roddy can get on that action. It's going to be a lot of team rebounding because it's a jump shooting team, right? So all that to say, I still think Adams gets a ton of boards tonight. I don't think that they have anything to keep him off the boards. But I am a little bit interested to see how they manage going against the wings again. They're just small on the wing until they get DB and Zaire back. Obviously, Jaren is included in that conversation. And Rockets, another team that has a lot of athleticism and length in their wings. You got Jalen Green, who is not a huge guy, but he's really athletic, got a ton of bounce, and he's super long. Kevin Porter Jr., really long, athletic player. Şengün, who might get some time on the wing, same way. Tari Eason. You just got a lot of length and athleticism at wing that I think is going to give the Grizzlies some fits until they get those guys back. So that is one matchup tonight I'm really interested to see because it's the NBA. Any team can catch it any night if they get on a heater. And if the wings are really on one, that could give the Grizzlies some trouble. Again, I think the Grizzlies are methodical enough that they won't let this game get far out no matter how much of a heater KPJ, Christopher Green could get on. But it's something to watch out for tonight as they go up against those wings without their guys. DB is doubtful again, isn't he?
Yeah, he's doubtful again. I don't expect him to play if he's doubtful. Usually the Grizzlies use questionable for more than likely, like that's legit questionable. Like he could probably play. Doubtful is it's just an out. It's just it gives them a way to say that he could actually play if for some reason whatever that injury was healed miraculously overnight.
Yeah.
But rarely does that ever happen, especially the Grizzlies. They're being so careful. So yeah, I like you said, I expect them to outsize them. I think that's going to be one of the big things. And because of who they have in their game, I think that, very much they could, be a Steven Adams game. He's projected to be like 10 boards is what the projection is. I think that's very good. He's had 2 games of 9. I think this could be a big game for him. I think scoring wise, I think it has a lot of potential as well. I think they could actually be legit like scorers in this game. Like I think Steven Adams could be, but a couple of guys to watch. Santi Aldama, for the fact that he is a big that can move, but he's also a big that can rebound, score. He can do a little bit of everything. He fits more of that size. Plus, I don't believe he's going to get played off the court, in my opinion. He played the most minutes last game, played right at 39 minutes, which was kind of crazy to see that. But another guy, David Roddy, played 12 and a half minutes in the game. I expect him to actually get more run this game because they have a lot of guys that are not big, but they're not also small. So giving somebody that's, a little bit thicker, but can actually keep up with them athleticism wise, I think that's big. I think this could be a big Roddy game tonight.
I love to hear that from you, Daniel. I love to hear that. It's music to my ears. Yeah, listen, it's a kind of game where his athleticism and girth could come in handy for sure. So I would love to see that, but I don't know. I'm still in let's see what the coaches do mode, to be honest. I think we could see a lot of Roddy, but I actually thought LaRavia looked awesome last game. After a whole summer of being really on the Roddy train, still am. I thought LaRavia had a ton of activity outside of his shot that I was impressed by that I did not see in summer league or preseason. So I was really impressed by that. I expect him to keep getting some time. I agree with you. It feels like a game where Roddy's just pure physical capabilities could come in handy, but I expect to see Aldama have another good game. This is a good matchup for him to be able to go against a guy like Jabari and see what he's able to do against that sort of caliber of draft pick. Yeah, I'm excited to see that matchup. I think it'd be a big Conchar game, but yeah, I'm just excited to keep watching. I think we're still a couple weeks out from having any real reactions to anything. Let's see if the Aldama and Conchar thing's real. That's the biggest thing for me tonight. Can they keep that up? Is that going to be consistent, or is that a flash in the pan? Right at this point, it's looking consistent. We've seen it out of both of them enough times to believe that. But in these big minutes, in these 30 minutes that they're playing, let's see if they can keep it up. So far, I mean, I'm all about it. They didn't skip a beat until they decided that they are only going to play 3 quarters.
Another thing that I'm looking at is a guy like, John Morant. And I know he's our dude, right? Let's look at his points. And I only do this because I think this is a good chance to see how he plays against other teams and why he maybe doesn't. Is there any reason that he hasn't played well against the Rockets this past season? He scored 22 points in both games. His rebounds were, they were okay, 6 and 4. The assists were both at 6. So he's underperforming his average in almost every category. Is there anything you see there? Like, I don't know if it's just like him maybe we get up so big and he just kind of takes time off. I don't know.
Well, you could say something about the length that they have at wing, give them some issues. I don't remember well enough what exactly happened in those games to know whether or not it was the length giving them issues, but it's a viable thing. They got big guys like Jalen Green to put on them, Kevin Porter Jr. The smallest guy to put on him is probably Eric Gordon, who's known as a really great defender. So definitely some things to do there, but also chances are they're just coasting, man. I mean, you're going against the Rockets, who are one of the worst teams in the league. I remember one of those games was mid-season when why would they care about that? They basically had their playoff stuff locked up. So I think a lot of it's just coasting. I think if Ja really wanted to kill him, he could. And I think second game of the year, a lot of guys out. He is not going to be playing around. He doesn't want to play another 38 minutes. He's going to want to put the foot on the throat, get some time off, especially because they've got is this the back-to-back or is it next week's the back-to-back against Dallas?
No, it's Saturday.
Which, by the way, a little bit of a venting session. You're really going to have that matchup, which is kind of a premier matchup from two of the best teams in the West, and an interdivision matchup. And you're going to give the Mavericks the game at home plus 2 full days off. Have the Grizzlies go on a road trip and have it on the second night of a back-to-back. Come on, NBA. Do better.
Well,
do better, NBA.
Like, what, first week of the season? Like, let's just be honest. Like, why are we doing back-to-backs on the first week of the season? It doesn't make sense.
Rigged.
We have all year to do this. Like, I know you're trying to figure out scheduling, and I don't know, does Taylor Swift have a concert in Dallas that, Sunday, and so we can't do it then? But like, what is the reason that we're doing this? It doesn't make sense. The only thing I can think of, and this does help, Houston, Dallas is not far. Okay. So it's not like a long trip. I don't know. Are they going to hop up, on a plane real quick, just to Houston and Dallas? Are they going to take a bus? I don't know. I don't know how they were going to do it. I would imagine you take your plane because you already have it there with you. Especially if you're, if it's a team flight. So it just doesn't make sense to me. I just don't.
Rigged. In all seriousness, I do worry about the injury concern. And I think that's one reason they come out ready to just stomp them tonight is they don't want to play. They do not want to play in the fourth quarter. They want to have Ja come out of his rotations. The starters come out of that rotation going into the bench unit heading into the fourth quarter and just let it ride and hope that the bench keeps it where they don't have to come back in. So, because there is an injury concern. That back-to-back beginning of the season, especially I think 40-ish minutes, close to 40 minutes in the first game. So, that's a serious thing to look for. I bet they come out firing because of that. But come on, Adam Silver. Come on, Adam Silver. I defended you in this offseason for some things you did. Come on now. Do better.
Yeah. I don't know if they were trying to get on NBA TV at, the Saturday night show or what. But yeah, it's Saturday night, the 22nd. It's a 7:30 game, 7:30 tip. So it's a little bit later. So they get, a good bit of almost a full day of rest a little bit after the game. So not really, but close. It will be, like I said, on NBA TV. Obviously, I believe it's on Bally's as well. So you'll be able to keep up with your team and hear Pete and Brevin, who, they're always amazing. So I don't ever want to take away that factor. I always want to, give a little bit of light on those dudes because they are the best in the business, in my opinion. But I expect the Grizzlies to get a win in Houston. I really do. The game was at I think the number was 5 at some point. I think this is a double-digit win, in my opinion. I think the Grizzlies are still hungry enough, but what's different is a team of vets would go into Houston potentially and just kind of, this will be a business trip. We're going to get a win, and honestly, we're looking at the Mavericks. This team is so young. They're trying to work on themselves. Adama, Conchar, Laravia, Roddy, they're all trying to figure themselves out. So they're trying to be the best version of themselves they can be. Plus, Ja is a lunatic at just wanting to make sure he is the best every chance he gets. And so I believe this team goes into Houston and gets a double-digit win. Dallas, that scares me. I think if they don't win by 20 or more and the Grizzlies set their starters in the entire fourth quarter, I think you go into Dallas and take the L. What's your opinion?
I'm kind of with you just because of what happened in the first game with Bane's legs. I think they need to play like 26 minutes max. I think is what you want to see out of Ja Morant, Desmond Bane, even Tyus. you want to get short minutes and then let the rookies really take the reins and get some good run in the third and fourth quarter. So, but listen, I'm never going to say I bet the Grizz take an L. After this past season, what they showed on the opening night was really encouraging to me. I expect good things out of them all season. I expect them to show a maturity they didn't have all season. I think this could be a business trip where they dominate, but they dominate because it's a business trip. Get themselves some rest, get ready for Dallas.
Give me your predictions in both games.
Double-digit win tonight. I'm with you on double-digit win tonight. Tomorrow, or
So the Grizzlies are Grizzlies 2-0. Enter
2-0 going into Dallas.
Okay.
Going into Dallas. I think Dallas is a good game for 3 quarters, no matter what. If the starters have to play 4 full quarters tonight, Dallas pulls away late to win by double digits.
I need a prediction out of you.
That is the prediction. Okay, and if that doesn't here, I give you both possible scenarios. If it doesn't, then I think the Grizzlies come and win a close game by, I'll give you a number 5 in Dallas.
Okay, so if the starters play 26 or less minutes, okay.
Grizz by 5 in Dallas.
Okay. If they play more, then you're saying that
Dallas
wins.
by 12.
Okay. I like it. I think that's realistic. I really do. I think no matter what happens tonight, I think you have a Dallas team that just blew a huge lead to Phoenix. I think they're going to come with a little bit of pissed offness, if we'll say. And so I think a little Luka Magic, he's always played well against the Grizzlies, man. So I'm taking Dallas no matter what. And I am a huge homer of the Grizzlies. I'm taking Dallas no matter what happens tonight.
Grizz going to bring that pissed offness no matter what. And I bet you DB sits tonight and plays tomorrow and to match up against Luka. I bet you that happens.
That would be awesome. That would be awesome. But that would be another
reason. We need him to defend Luka. We do need that.
That'd be another reason I'd pick the Mavericks.
Well, that's fine. You can be a turd about it. We have no one to defend Luka, even if DB plays, but we have someone to halfway defend Luka if he plays. So listen, Grizz fans, whatever side of the aisle you fall on, we need him to defend against Luka Doncic. Okay, Jaren's not back, so that's fine. Stay on that side.
Stay on that side. I like it. All right, let's get some predictions out of you on the players. I think this is always fun. This is betting related, so don't come, don't be too crazy. But I think it's good to kind of talk about how you think a player is going to play tonight. Vegas does these for a reason, right? So let's just go down the board a little bit. And I'll ask some questions. We'll go with points first.
Okay.
See what kind of game you think these guys have. Do you think Desmond Bane scores 20 or more points tonight?
I'm going to say no, because ideally he doesn't play enough minutes to score 20 points.
Okay.
I take
John Morant, over 30, like 30 or more.
I'd say same thing, under, because of the minutes. I think he has like 13 assists.
All right. Santi Claus. Yeah, we're going to stand on that hill. We have the receipts. If you're listening, we have the receipts.
We are so underrated in this media.
But I do believe you. Yeah, and I thought it was the dumbest thing you ever said when you said Santi Claus back in whatever, June, July, whatever it was. Santi Claus.
Corny. It's corny. It was not dumb.
It was very corny. I think I got exactly what I said. Anyway, I couldn't find that episode. I heard some other ones where you called him in July. So we're going back to find our receipts on Santi Claus, but Santi Aldama, 14 or more points.
I'll take the over. I'll take the over on the Santi points tonight.
Adam, 7 or more.
Oof. Danger zone. I would say under based off historical precedent. I think they try and get him involved in offense, but just because he gets a shot up doesn't mean he doesn't smoke it. I would take under on that. I would stay away, but I'd say under if I'm going to take it.
Who's your highest scorer on the Rockets, you think, tonight? Who's their best player
on the Rockets?
Overall? Yeah. Yep. Kevin Porter Jr., Jabari Smith, Eric Gordon, and then Jalen Green.
I'd have to go with KPJ.
Okay.
He's the best pure scorer on their team. Jalen Green is if he's on, but he's a little less consistent. So we'll see. Could be a big Jabari game too. I bet they try to make it a big Jabari game, but I think ironically, even though they're bigger, Aldama plays that matchup really well. So I would say KPJ.
Okay. Well, KPJ was the highest scorer the last game that they had,
Yep.
which is kind of cool. All right. So let's keep going a little bit. We won't go to assists. I think nobody cares about that. Let's talk about our rebounds. Let's talk about the 3 guys that we had 36 rebounds between them. Let me go with Adams first. Think he has 10 or more rebounds?
Yeah, for sure.
Wow. All right. Aldama, 8 or more rebounds.
I'd stay away, but I'd take the under.
Wow. Really?
Yeah, it feels like one of those games he's going to have, because even though the Knicks are a big team, the Aldama matchup wasn't always that big. So he was against Randall some, but Randall, he's a bully rebounder, but Aldama was kind of going up against Cam Reddishes of the world on some of those switches. I think tonight, whoever he's up against, I think he sees a lot more of that length consistently. If it was 6.5, I'd take the over. I have him at 7.
Okay. And then Conchar, there's nothing on Vegas out, but I'd say he was at 6.5 last game when it opened up. 7 or more rebounds for Conchar.
Up, over.
All right.
Take the
Let's
Conchar
do
rebounds. Hey, assist, since you're
Yeah.
not going to do it.
Yeah.
Whatever the jaw assists are, take it. Especially if
Wow.
it's at 8.5. Take
7.5.
it. Jaws assists are 7.5.
Yeah.
Oh, find an alternate. Take that.
You think he has 8 or more assists?
Yes.
He last year was literally it was 6.
He's going to have
against
8
them.
or more assists. Yes.
Okay. Well, he cleared that
100%.
line. He cleared it at 49% last year overall. So 8 or more assists. Go for it. I think it's I think it'll be a good. I think Bane will get some assists. I think he'll go 3 or more assists as well. I think you can double up Adams for three assists as well. I think the assists will be there. I don't know about the points for the right people. So if you really are looking for somebody to go points for, you could probably go the alternate guys, which are your Aldama, your Conchar. I think they're going to have 10 or more points. So because 10 or more points, let's go with some double doubles. Yes or no? John Morant, double.
Yes.
Santi Aldama.
No.
Steven Adams?
No, because of the points.
All right. That's all we have. 3-pointers. Desmond Bane has been cold. They have him at 3.5. You going over or under on 3.5, 4 or less?
I'd say under. I don't think he puts up 13 again, and I don't think they play a ton of minutes. When it comes to the scoring, I'm big on the assist because the assist numbers are typically lower. Scoring, I just think these guys don't play enough minutes tonight to get all those points. But listen, I never bet. You hit last game on the 3.5 Bane under 3s. I don't bet against Desmond Bane 3s. If I had to, I'd say under on that 4, but yeah, I don't want to play that game.
Well, something I'm looking at is John Morant. He went 3 of 6 last game. They have him at at that line of 2.5, so they're looking to get him possibly 3 again. But another guy I'm looking at, Santi Aldama, he went 3 of 8. You think he goes for 2 or more?
Yeah, I think he hits 2. Is it the line 1.5?
Yeah, I think he's been hitting 2 like crazy. I think he's going to get the possibility. I think he's going to get his chance. He shot 8. I think he can go 2 of 6.
They're going to leave him open in that corner, and he's going to nail him. I'd take that for sure. 2 or more.
Yep. So
I would take Jitty double if it's out there.
I would take a Jitty double. I forgot to ask about him. Yeah, he's not on the books anywhere. They're scared of my guy Jitty. And the reason is because they know that he will be the alternate. He's going to play. He's going to start if Dylan Brooks is out of the game. But we all expect Dylan to not be in the game. So at that point, you're going to see these lines come out a little bit later. So take advantage of it. We're a small market team. If you like betting, feel free. We're not always going to talk about it. We'll have a little bit of fun with it here and there. But mainly, I look at the game that direction a little bit because I think it's important to look at the game and see how these guys play. It also correlates with the numbers. And so I think of what does these smart people in Vegas who have money on it, what do they think about our guys? And so I like to see that Aldama's on there. I think he is going to continue to be a guy that if you are a betting person, you can make money on him, or just cheer for him in general. I think he's a little Santa Claus. It's gonna bring some more bags of cash.
It's wholesome, man. I love it. That's one thing about this team that is awesome is you have guys you love to root for. You love to root for these guys,
Yeah.
every single one of them, right? Ja gets the hate now because he's an actual superstar, and that's what happens when you're a superstar. Outside of that, man, you love rooting for all of these guys. So it's fun to have a team like that. You know what we should do? We should start doing some like picks. Keep track of our picks. See who the professional better, how your picks match up against me, the guy who hears about the lines from you. So we ought to do that the rest of the season. Just keep track of that. That'd be a fun thing to do.
Yeah, I agree. You know what we're keeping track of is who's signing up for Zach Jaworski State Farm. We're watching, listening. Now, if you need insurance of any reason at all, our presenting sponsor is Zach Jaworski State Farm, where they treat you like family. They are family to me, so they can be family to you, and they can make sure they save you some money, whatever it might be. Your boat, your car, your house, your wife's jewelry. If you think you've spent a lot of money, go get it insured, buddy. I promise you it is very important, because you do not want to be swimming and your wife comes up and goes, "Where is my ring?" That's never good. So go get it all insured, and you can go get up with our guy, Zach Jaworski at State Farm, where they have offices in East Memphis and Collierville. Call them at 901-459-4227. ZachInsuresMemphis.com, Z-A-C-H, ZachInsuresMemphis.com. Call them again, 901-459-4227. All right, let's get out of here with what we have. Anything that you have on these games so far?
Grizzlies basketball's back. Let's have fun. Have fun watching the team. Quit taking ourselves so seriously. Come on. It's a good time.
Who are you talking about?
Oh, I don't know.
All right, let's have a great time. Let's have a great week, man. This is going to be a great weekend. Behind the curtain a little bit, my daughter this next week turns 7. And so I'm excited. We get to have her birthday. It's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to have her birthday party this weekend. And so we get to do, maybe if they have a leotard big enough, I can get one and I can put it on for our gymnastic birthday party. Anybody pictures? No? Nobody pictures? No.
All you, cousin.
All right, let's have a great week. Let's get 2 dubs on the road and prove me wrong. I am down. You can prove me wrong again, Ja. I know you're probably listening. I know you're seeing this. Somehow, it'll get back to him. I promise you. It always does. But without further ado, you know what's next. Be nice and tell your friends.